Hello. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can we stand up for the arrival of the President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer, Engineer Felix Adeshola Adegboye, Fellow Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Can we stand up for the arrival of our President, Engineer Felix Adeshola Adegboye, FNIEEE? Mr. President, you are welcome. We have in the front the President of NIEEE, Engineer Felix Adeshola Adegboye. Behind him, we have the awardee for today, Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNIEEE, FNSA. Followed by the Deputy President of NIEEE, Engineer Anthony Nwodu, FNIEEE. Followed by the Vice President, Embedded Emerging Technologies Engineering Section, Engineer Bayo Olusodo, FNIEEE. Followed by immediate past President, Engineer Felix Olu, FNIEEE. Followed by Vice President, Instrumentation, Control, Automation Engineering, Engineer Salami Jimo Adesina, FNIEEE. Followed by Vice President, Power and Clean Energy Engineering Section, Engineer Olalekon Olabode, FNIEEE. And of course, our amiable Executive Secretary, Engineer Kazim Olawal, FNIEEE. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. I would like us to start immediately with opening prayer. And we'll take third stanza of National Anthem as our opening prayer. Can you please assist us to project third stanza of National Anthem? We also have it on our program, page 1. Okay, National Anthem first before the opening prayer. National Anthem. National Anthem. The new National Anthem. Thank you. We can now take third stanza of National Anthem as our opening prayer. Lord of all creation, grant this our one request. Build the nation. Amen. Thank you so much. We can have our seats. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, Engineer Felix Adeshola Adegboye, FNIEEE, and the entire National Executive Committee, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this historic gathering. Today is much more than another professional event. It is a celebration of excellence. It is a celebration of innovation. It is a celebration of leadership. And of course, the enduring contributions of electrical and electronics engineers to national development. And this morning, we are so delighted to receive eminent personalities from government, from industry, from regulatory institutions, students, members of the media. You are all important. and your presence today demonstrates the importance you attach to this event. Before we go on, let me briefly give us an idea of introduction about NIEE, the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, NIEE. As we are all aware, it was established in 1984, and it is the foremost body of electrical and electronics engineering practitioners in Nigeria. Of course, today, NIEE brings together professionals in power engineering, in electronics, in telecommunications, and the likes. I would also like to mention that NIEE gave birth to the Chartered Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering in Nigeria, CN, following the signing of its establishing act into law in the year 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating an institute that has remained a pillar of engineering excellence, an institute that has remained a driving force for national development. Let's give a round of applause for the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. I actually expect much more than that. Maybe we don't know. Every modern nation is powered by electricity. Every digital economy is sustained by electronics. Every smart city is built on communication technology. So that is why the work of NIEE is not merely professional. It is strategic to national development. So for its unwavering commitment to engineering excellence, may we appreciate this great institute once again. Let's appreciate NIEE once again. Thank you so much. All right. Before we go on, before we go to safety brief, permit me to quickly recognize some of the dignitaries in our midst. Okay. Let me invite Mr. Ahmad to give us safety brief before we go to recognition of dignitaries. Mr. Ahmad.
Good morning, everyone. You are welcome to Marriott. My name is Amma from the security department of this hotel. I'm standing to discuss with you on the topic safety and security. Obviously, you'll agree with me that these two topics should be everybody's concern. If you don't talk about security, you don't talk about safety, what else? These two come first before any other thing that has to do with humanity. Yes. Having said that, I want to assure you that as you are seated here or standing here, your security is guaranteed. Guaranteed from the standpoint of the securing. This building you see, Marriott, as a brand, put this place together with security in mind. Security in mind, if you are used to this terrain, Ikeja, you'll agree with me that behind me, this direction, we have our police college. Directly opposite the police college is Area F, police station. And adjacent to that police station, we have our high court. A little further behind, we have our Air Force base. And if you are traveling to this direction, this terrain, before you get to Maryland, we have our Army barracks. So with this external security architecture, you'll agree with me that yes, Marriott is purpose-built with security in mind. Beside these external or outside architectures, that security post there you cross, that main gate, The security post is charged with enough armed policemen. And then we have our internal security, those who are putting on black. Outside the internal security, we have G4S as a BFOP to the security. All these securities are gathered just because of you, because this brand has it in mind and knew that, yes, dignitaries will be having an event here. So it is near impossible for any street urchin to think of coming to molest you while you are here or even when you are leaving. Outside security, talk about safety. The management has deemed it necessary and knows that, yes, not everybody go about with his or her doctor. So in-house, we have our certified nurse. So while you are here, you feel like, I don't know how my body they do me. Please, don't hold it to yourself. Let us know. Our nurse will come in and begin to take care. It is only when it defies the nurse that we begin to think of using the hospital. And Marriott Hotel here uses Duchess Hospital. Duchess Hospital is not up to 2 minutes drive, all things being equal. It's not up to 2 minutes drive from here. Before you get to Country's Club, you will have met Duchess Hospital. So that's about safety. On this floor we have two restrooms. Immediately you go out of this here door, right-hand side, there is one restroom there. If you come to this direction, there is another restroom on this floor alone, and we call here LG, lower ground. Yes, we have only 2 caveats. One of the caveats is about smoking. We are not saying don't smoke, but if you want to smoke, please signal, let us know. We show you our free smoking zone where the smoke cannot cause problem, because if you smoke inside here, the sensor will pick it up and interpret it as fire. Before you know it, the alarm will go. Yes, Marriott has assembled all the current firefighting equipment. So if you hear the alarm, please don't be panic-stricken. Our ERT members are already on ground to let us know how to go about it. I'm getting a signal that my time is up. The second caveat is, please, your cell phone, your laptop, your property, your belongings, please. This is a public place. Be in charge, because we may not possibly vouch for all our guests. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ama. Please, let's give a round of applause once again. Thank you so much. We quickly go to recognition of dignitaries. At this point, permit me with great pleasure to recognize and welcome some eminent personalities who have honored us honored our invitation today. First and foremost, I would like to recognize a man, a visionary leader, whose administration continues to reposition NIEE for greater national relevance. He came when NIEE needed him most, and he started with the empowerment of chapters. And thereafter, he went ahead to establish diaspora chapter. I didn't stop at that. He also went ahead to strengthen collaborations with some MDAs. I'm talking about the president and chairman in council of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Please join me to welcome the chairman of education, Engineer Felix Adeshola Adegboye, fellow Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. He is here with his amiable wife. Please join me to welcome President of Spouses Forum of NIEE. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. We are honored by your presence. We are also deeply honored to welcome our distinguished guest of honor, Chief Joseph O. Tegbe, FCA, FCTI, Honorable Minister of Power, Federal Republic of Nigeria. whose presence underscored the importance of collaboration between government and engineering profession. Is there ably represented by our own engineer Olabi Sunday, PhD, Director Renewable and Rural Power Asset Development of the Federal Ministry of Power. Please, let's give a round of applause. Also in our midst this morning, we have the President of the Chartered Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering of Nigeria, CN, Engineer Kings Adeyemi, FNI Chipui. See, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Of course, also in our midst this morning, we have the President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, FNSC, FASC, MFR, who is here ably represented by Vice President Anglophone, West African Federation of Engineering Organization, Engineer Dr. Bola Mudashiru, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers. Before I go on, I need to quickly recognize our distinguished lecturer. Of course, our award laureate is the MD Protogy Global Services, a man with many caps, Vice President NSC 2023-2024, Pioneer Chairman of NSC Oluyole branch. If I should continue, we will be here till evening. Just join me to give a well round of applause for Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNSC, FNI Chipui. Thank you so much. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate your remarkable professional accomplishment as well. Also in our midst this morning, we have our Royal Father, His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Michael Odunayo Ajayi, Elerimo of Irimo Ijesha, Osun State. Kábíyèsí o. Kábíyèsí o. Permit me to quickly recognize some of our leaders, some of our leaders who have built foundations for NICPOE. And I would like to start with, I think, the 7th president of NICPOE, who served between 1996 to 1997, Engineer Titi Omoetu, FNICPOE. Also in our midst, we have president between 1998 to 1999, Engineer John O. Ayodele, FNICPOE. Thank you so much, sir. We have our past president between 2006 to 2007, Engineer Morufdin Odetokun, FNICPOE. Followed by president between 2008 to 2009, Engineer Olafemi Olaniyan, FNICPOE. Followed by president between 2014 to 2015, Engineer Gracious Omosheye, FNICPOE. And of course, president between 2016 to 2017, Engineer Emmanuel Akinwole, FNICPOE. President of NICPOE between 2018 to 2019, President of Young Boys, Engineer John Oyewole Funsho Adebayo. Let me also go back to one of our presidents who is also sitting on this side of the table, Engineer King Olusegun Adeyemi, FNICPOE. He was president between 2020 to 2021. Just coming in, we have a president who served this institute meritoriously between 2012 to 2013, Engineer Adekunle Sunday Makinde. Thank you so much. We also have Honorable Commissioner for Transportation, Lagos State, in our midst, who who is ably represented by Engineer Mausi Otaiwo. Please, let's give Honorable Commissioner a round of applause. Let me also recognize specially my own Oga, the Vice President of NSC between 2023 to 2024, Engineer Joseph Sunday Adebayo FNI Chipui. I think we have all. Thank you so much. We have immediate past president of FNI Chipui, Engineer Felix Olu FNI Chipui. Let's give a round of applause. It's also our past president anyway. Chairman Board of Fellow, Engineer Dr. Isaac Adekoyi FNI Chipui. Also, we have some chapter chairmen here present. Can you stand up for recognition? All chapter chairmen, if you are here, please stand up. All fellows of FNI Chipui, let's give them a round of applause. We have some national high schools in our midst. I think I mentioned a few. Can you all stand up for recognition? I can see Engineer Bayo Lusodo, Engineer Tony Woodbo. Let's give them a round of applause. They have been supporting our presidents. Thank you so much. Because of our time, permit me to quickly go to main reason why we are here. That is the Deeeal lecture. The recognition will continue as we move on. One unique tradition that's distinguished NIGP over the years, it's a tradition that celebrates not popularity, seriously, not politics, unlike some other professional body, but what? Professional excellence. This tradition is called Distinguished Electrical and Electronics Engineering Award Laureate. This is the highest intellectual and professional honor conferred by NIGP. And since its inception in 2000, Deeeal has served Nigeria's premier engineering lecture series for electrical and electronics engineering. Let me mention that it is not merely an award, but it's a platform where exceptional engineering leaders share their decades of experience, decades of research, decades of innovation and practical solutions. Solutions to national challenge. So, to be selected as Deeeal lecturer is one of the highest recognitions an engineer can receive within this institute. For you to be an awardee, you need to, the body look at, your outstanding professional competence, your outstanding professional accomplishments, rather, your exceptional technical competence, your impactful contributions to engineering practice, your mentorship of young engineers, and many more. If you look at this brochure, you see that each Deeeal lecture captures pressing engineering issues of its time and provides practical pathways for solving them. Today, or this year's lecture continues that proud tradition, and the brochure notes that the 16th Deeeal lecture focuses on optimized design and interconnectivity strategy for distributed generation in multi-community mini-grids with adaptive grid integration pathway in sub-Saharan Africa, which reflect today's urgent need for reliable and interconnected scalable electricity systems. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me quickly to just go briefly on the history of NIGP, on the history of Deeeal. In 2001, Engineer Professor Olumide Ajose examined the technicalities of GSM and Nigerians' entry into mobile. In year 2002, Engineer Professor Kwale focused on electrical machines, reinforcing the foundations of power engineering. In 2003, Engineer Dr. Olusegun Ajayi, who is the past president of NSC, he addressed the safety of electrical power systems in Nigeria. In 2004, our very own daddy, Engineer Dr. Ayodele Eson, shifted the attention to clean, reliable energy for rural development. In 2005, Engineer Professor Albert Alos explored the role of entrepreneurship in driving economic growth. In 2006, a former president of Koren, Engineer Ibikunle Ogunbayo, challenge engineers to pursue energy efficiency in built industry. In 2007, engineer Shomolu highlighted the importance of front-end engineering design. In 2008, Dr. Udukwe reflected on Nigeria's transformation from telecommunications. In 2009, one of our past presidents, who is here seated, Engineer Ayodele, examined distributed generation as a pathway to electricity supply security. In 2010, a former chairman of Digital Bridge Institute, past president of NICP Engineering City Ometu, looked at connecting the last mile, reminding us that access to communication infrastructure is essential for inclusive development. After a brief pause, Deeeal returned in 2013 with Engineer Olis, who explored the techno-economic challenge of building a sustainable power. In 2016, Engineer Monta addressed power distributions. In 2019, a former EVC of NCC, Professor Dan Tata, focused on Nigerian telecommunication infrastructure. In 2021, Engineer Ifeoluwa Oyedele, who passionately argued that electrification of Nigeria is indispensable to building a great industrialized and safe nation. And today, in the year 2026, we are writing another chapter in this distinguished legacy as our very own engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNICCE, becomes the 16th Deeeal lecturer and award laureate, continuing a tradition that has consistently addressed Nigeria's most pressing engineering challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that deserves a resounding applause. Quickly, let me recognize the managing director of TCN, Engineer Sule Abdulaziz, who is here ably represented by Engineer Ekoko FM. Can you please stand up for recognition, ma'am? Also in our midst, we have some of our guys that is Engineer Professor, one of our lecturer, HOD Electrical Engineering from University of Lagos, Engineer Professor Oluseyi Peter. Thank you so much. So we're good to welcome others. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not merely about occupying a position or occupying an office. It's about providing direction. It's about inspiring people. It's about building institutions that will outlive one's tenure. So our chairman of the occasion, who is the president of NICCE, exemplify these qualities. Like I said earlier on, under his leadership, NICCE continues to expand its technical relevance, strengthen professional development, promote engineering excellence across Nigeria. Please join me in welcoming a seasoned engineer, an accomplished administrator, my own Oga who handed over to me at the chapter level, the president and chairman in council of the Great Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer, Engineer Felix Adeshola Adegboye, FNICCE, to deliver his welcome address. Mr. President, please, let's give a round of applause once again. It's not easy to become a president, too. Baba, you might understand, though. It's not easy to become a president, too.
May we be seated, please? Thank you. Well, this is Yoruba land. I want to say good morning to everybody. Good morning to my papas. Nobody is answering, responding. Our special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Power, ably represented by Engineer Owolabi Sunday. All the past Deeeal lecturers who are here, I recognize you the representative of NSC, President of CN, Engineer Kings Adeyemi, the past presidents, my great predecessors, those who laid the foundation on which I am building by the grace of God. I want to appreciate you for being here. All the chairmen of statutory boards of NIEE and the chairmen of committees, all chapter chairmen, fellows who are here, members of ESCOs from NSC, and all our friends that are here, branch chairman of NSC, I recognize your presence. State commissioners of power and energy that are represented here, the HODs of electrical electronic engineering of Nigerian universities, CEOs, CTOs, and so on and so forth. I can't do without recognizing my own immediate past president, who is also the chairman of the planning committee of this event, Engineer Felix Oolu. Thank you very much for all that you have been doing. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press, it is a great honor for me to welcome you all to this 16th edition of the Distinguished Electrical and Electronic Engineer Award Laureate, Deeeal. I do this with immense professional pride and great pleasure. Deeeal stands as a crown jewel of our institute's intellectual and professional attainment. Since inception, this platform has served a singular, vital purpose: to bring together the finest minds of our profession to proffer concrete engineering-backed solutions to the infrastructure and technological challenges of our nation. Today, we gather not just to listen, but to honor a trailblazer whose work sits at the very frontier of modern energy solutions. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the landscape of the Nigerian power sector is undergoing a historic shift. With the operationalization of the Electricity Act, the monopoly of power has cracked, opening the doors wide for localized energy solutions. Yet, as we push for decentralization, we face a complex engineering puzzle. How do we ensure that these localized energy systems are reliable, interconnected, and scalable? This is why today's lecture topic: optimize design and interconnectivity strategy for distributed generation in multi-community mini-grids with adaptive grid integration pathway in sub-Saharan Africa is both prophetic and profoundly necessary. For too long, sub-Saharan Africa has approached rural and suburban electrification through isolated, fragmented mini-grids. While they provide immediate relief, standalone mini-grids often lack economic resilience and technical capacity to handle growing industrial loads. Today, our distinguished lecturer will show us how to move past isolated design. We will explore the mathematics and mechanics of multi-community interconnectivity, learning how neighboring mini-grids can talk to one another, share loads, and seamlessly adapt when the main national grid eventually catches up to integrate them. This is the exact blueprint Nigeria needs to eliminate energy poverty. Following the presentation of this seminar lecture, we shall transition to the highest of today's ceremony. That's the highest point. The formal conferment upon a lecturer. To be a Deeeal lecturer is an honor reserved strictly for those who have demonstrated peerless technical expertise, unwavering ethical standards, and a lifetime of impactful contribution to electrical and electronic engineering practice. Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Nigerian Institute of Electrical Electronic Engineers, your deep research and practical execution in the field of distributed energy resources make you thoroughly deserving of this institutional honor. By conferring this distinction upon you today, NIEE is validating your work as a reference standard for the next generation of African engineers. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the Deeeal Organizing Committee under the leadership of my immediate past presidents, Engineer Felix Oolu, FNIEE, for their meticulous planning in staging this prestigious event. I also thank our industry partners and every member of NIEE whose commitment ensures that our institute remains the ultimate authority on technological advocacy in Nigeria. To everyone present, I urge you to look at today's lecture not just as an academic exercise, but as an actionable engineering framework. Let us absorb these insights and drive the implementation required to power every community across sub-Saharan Africa. Thank you to everyone. Congratulations to our distinguished honoree, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Let's give our president a round of applause once again. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Your inspiring remarks have not only welcomed us, but reminded us why Deeeal remains the flagship intellectual platforms of Institute. So we go to opening remarks now. Distinguished guest of honor, Minister of Power. Of course, we know that the power sector remains one of the most strategic sectors of every economy. So today's distinguished guest of honor needs little introduction. As Honorable Minister of Power, he occupies one of the most strategic positions in Nigeria's development journey. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Honorable Minister of Power, Chief Joseph Otejbe, FCA, FCTI, for his opening remark, who is here ably represented by Engineer Owolabi Sunday, PhD, Director, Renewable and Rural Power Asset Development Department. Thanks so much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol while I try to make some protocol on some of the distinguished that are here. So I'm Dr. Owolabi Sunday, Director, Renewable Rural Power Assets of Federal Ministry of Power, representing my Honorable Minister, Chief Tebe. And of course, yesterday he have intention of coming, but he got the information so late. And because of the importance that he attributed to this body, so he have to dispatch me to come and represent him. So the president of Nigerian Institute of Electrical Engineering and Electronic Engineering, Engineer Dr. Felix Adeboye, FNSC of NIEE. Distinguished Electrical and Electronics Awardee Laureate, Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNSC, FNIEE. Captains of Industries, distinguished member of engineering professions, distinguished guests, ladies and my able Edban that they are here, ladies and gentlemen. I will read the text of the honorable ministers as approved. Good morning. It is with my great pleasure that I join you today at 16 distinguished Electrical Electronic Engineering Award Laureate lectures and award ceremony organized by Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Let me begin by congratulating the award recipient, Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, whose remarkable contribution to electrical engineering and national development have earned this prestigious recognition. His career has exemplified professionalism, innovation, and integrity and service. On behalf of the Federal Ministry of Power and the Federal Government of Nigeria, I congratulate you on this well-deserved honor. I also commend the leadership of NIEE for sustaining this annual platform that celebrates excellence, promotes knowledge sharing, and inspire young engineers to pursue innovations and professional distinction. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, engineering remains the backbone of every industrialized nation. The quality of nation infrastructure, economic, manufacturing capacity, and technological advancement directly linked to the strength of engineering professions. As a government, we recognize the reliable electricity supply is the foundation of economic growth, industrial development, job creations, improved healthcare, quality education, and food security and digital transformation. All these anchor on electrical and electronic profession as well as other related engineering fields. Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and in line with the Renew Hope agenda, the federal government remains fully committed to transform Nigeria's electricity value chain through strategic investment, policy reform, private sector participation, and infrastructure expansion. The Ministry of Power is currently driving reform aimed at 1, expanding transmission capacity through the construction of new 330 kV and 132 kV transmission line and substations, strengthening the national grid to improve reliability, stability, and resilience. Accelerate grid modernization through digital technologies, smart grid solutions, promoting renewable energy integration to diversify Nigerian energy mix in line with our energy transition plan, encouraging local manufacturing technology transfer within the power sector, and creating an enabling environment that attracts sustainable investment across the electricity industry. These initiatives are already yielding positive outcomes, but we acknowledge that much work still lies ahead of us. Ladies and gentlemen, today's lecture with the team Optimize Design Interconnectivity Strategy for Distributed Generation in Multi-Community Mini-Grid with Adaptive Integration Pathway in Sub-Saharan Africa is particularly timely and important because the solution for future electricity generation does no longer rely on large central power generation due to the long gestation period of implementation, dispatch issues, associated technical losses, and complex operational system. But by adopting distributed generation through mini-grid adoption, this is a transformative solution for resolving grid stability and bridging the last mile energy gap. By integrating decentralized renewable energy resources directly with existing utility distribution network, it allows communities to generate, share, and balance power seamlessly along the main grid. The decentralization of our power system through distributed generation has also increasingly shaping the new evolving technological advancement in the area of innovation, digitalization, artificial intelligence, energy storage, smart grid, advanced transmission system, cybersecurity, and development of resilient infrastructure capable of supporting rapid growing energy demand. thus create a new frontier profession for the electrical and electronic engineering field. I therefore urge the Institute to continue developing indigenous solutions that address our unique energy challenges. We must deepen research, encourage collaboration between academia, professional bodies, and industry to embrace emerging technology and prioritize local content in engineering design, manufacturing, operation, and maintenance. Government alone cannot deliver the power sector transformation that Nigerians desire. Success requires strong partnership among the government, institutions, professional bodies, development partners, private investors, academia, and our highly talented engineers. I'm particularly encouraged by the role NIEE continue to play in advancing professional excellence, technical standard, capacity development, and policy advocacy. The Ministry of Power will continue to engage professional institutions such as yours in shaping policies, implementing sustainable engineering solutions. So our young electrical and electronic engineers, I encourage you to embrace continued learning, innovation, ethical practice, and professionalism. The future of Nigerian electricity industry rests significantly in your hand. Your creativity and technical competence will determine how quickly Nigeria will achieve universal access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable and modern energy sector. As we celebrate today distinguished laureate, let us reaffirm our collective commitment to build a stronger, more resilient, and global competitive power sector that supports economic prosperity and improve the quality of life for every Nigerian. Once again, I congratulate Engineer Isaac Ademola Guru, FNSC, FNI, EEE on this outstanding achievement, and thank the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering for this honor and for unwavering contribution to Nigerian development. I wish you all successful and enriched program. Thank you and God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Power, for that inspiring address. We appreciate you for your continued partnership with Engineering. Let's give a round of applause once again. Let me quickly recognize one of my Oga who just came in, Regional Manager, IBDC Ogun Region, Engineer Brazak Jimo, FNI EEE. Please stand up for recognition, sir. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, every honor has a story. Every recognition has a journey. Before today's distinguished lecture, it is fitting that we reflect on the remarkable career and accomplishment of the man whose lifetime contribution we celebrate today. The citation you are about to listen to will capture decades of professional excellence, decades of innovation, and service to humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to invite to this side of the podium our own engineer Funmilade Akingbagbo to read the citation of our dear lecturer, Engineer Isaac Ademola Guru, FNI EEE. Engineer Funmilade Akingbagbo. I'm going to be the one to hand over the microphone to you now. Oh yeah, now.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to invite our distinguished guest lecturer, the quintessential personality, hardworking visionary leader, a mentor par excellence, to be on this side as I take his citation this morning. Your Excellencies, the Honorable Minister of Power, past President of NIEE, Kabiyesi, permit me to stand on the existing protocol as I take the citation of Engineer Ademola Isaac Aguru, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, is a distinguished electrical engineer, visionary business leader, accomplished project manager, and passionate advocate for engineering excellence, whose career spans more than 3 decades of remarkable professional achievements. Through his exceptional leadership, technical expertise, and unwavering commitment to innovation, he has made outstanding contributions to the advancement of Nigeria's power sector, renewable energy industry, engineering profession, and human capital development. A highly respected fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ademola Isaac Aguru has consistently demonstrated excellence in electrical engineering power systems, renewable energy, metering technologies, automation, and project management. His professional journey reflects a rare combination of technical competence, strategic vision, and transformational leadership that has positioned him as one of Nigeria's foremost engineering professionals. I thought we were going to put our hands together for him. Recognizing in the outstanding managerial abilities, he was appointed Assistant General Manager of the Electrical Engineering Department at the Crown West African Company Limited, where he successfully coordinated complex engineering projects, managed multidisciplinary teams, and supervised the electrical components of major water infrastructure projects in Nigeria. Between 2009 and 2013, Engineer Aguru served as program manager on the prestigious PHCN Eco Zone. How many of us remember that time? That was a long time. PHCN time. He was project manager in collaboration with Lucy Electric UK. In this strategic national assignment, he played a pivotal role in the modernization of Nigeria's electricity distribution infrastructure through the deployment of supervisory control and data acquisition and the distribution management systems. As the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Protege Global Services Limited since 2013, Engineer Aguru has transformed the organization into one of Nigeria's leading engineering, renewable energy, and metering solution companies. Under his visionary leadership, the company has experienced over 40% growth in marketing share through strategic expansion, innovation, and operational excellence. I thought we were going to put our hands together for him. He has successfully led multidisciplinary teams comprising over 150 engineers, project managers, and technical professionals, delivering numerous high-impact projects across the energy sector. His leadership has resulted in significant reductions in project delivery timelines, improved operational efficiency, and substantial costing savings through the implementation of modern project management systems and process optimization strategies. Engineer Aguru has distinguished himself as a leading advocate of renewable energy development in Nigeria. He has championed the design and implementation and deployment of cutting-edge solar photovoltaic systems, smart metering technologies, Internet of Things-enabled energy solutions, and mini-grid projects that have expanded access to clean, reliable, and sustainable electricity for business and communities. An accomplished academic and lifelong learner, Engineer Aguru possesses an impressive educational background that reflects his commitment to continuous professional development. He holds a Master's of Engineering degree in Electrical Engineering from Bells University of Technology, a postgraduate diploma in Electrical Electronics Engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Ibadan, and an higher National Diploma in Electrical Engineering from the Polytechnic, Ibadan. He is presently pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Renewable Energy, Engineering, and Sustainable Development in the United Kingdom. I thought we were going to put our hands together because there is no stopping to learning. We continue to learn every day. Within the engineering profession, Engineer Aguru has earned widespread respect for his exceptional service and leadership. As Vice President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers for 2 consecutive terms in 2023 and 2024, he provided strategic leadership in professional development, institutional collaboration, and capacity building initiatives that strengthen the engineering profession nationwide. His influence extends to national policy development through his role as chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Supply and Installation Standards Review Panel, representing the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Engineer Agoro is deeply committed to humanitarian services and youth empowerment. As founder of the Ademola Isaac Agro-Engineering Empowerment Foundation, he has demonstrated an unwavering passion for developing future generations of engineers, innovators, and technology leaders. Thank you very much for putting your hands together for him. His institution have designed to provide world-class education using emerging technologies such as Raspberry Pi, robotics, automation, and advanced engineering laboratories to equip young engineers with globally competitive technical skills. The illiterate of the 21st century are the people that cannot read and write, but Engineer Agoro has continuously displayed exemplary leadership in ensuring that the young ones come up to speed in terms of competition globally across the world. And I want to thank him once again for sponsoring our young ones to different competitions, different empowerment programs to help them to rise to the occasion of the emerging technologies. Thank you very much, sir. Today, Engineer Ademola Isaac Agoro stands as an outstanding ambassador of the engineering profession, an accomplished industry leader, an innovator, an educator, a mentor, a philanthropist whose legacy continues to inspire excellence, transform communities, and contribute meaningfully to the sustainable development of Nigeria and the global engineering community. And I want to use this opportunity to thank him once again for supporting the Nigerian Society of Engineers Glasgow branch and for being a patron of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Glasgow branch. Thank you very much. It is therefore with profound honor and great pleasure that this distinguished citation is presented in recognition of the outstanding achievements, exemplary leadership, professional excellence, and invaluable contributions of Engineer Ademola Isaac Agoro, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, to engineering, education, national development, and humanity. Please, I want to tell you that this citation was abridged, so you can look at it in your programs, page 14, 15, 16, and 17. I only took part of the citation because it has a whole book of citation, but we just wanted to take just a few so that you understand where we are coming from. I present to you this morning an excellent leader, a philanthropist, a mentor, an engineer par excellence, Engineer Ademola Isaac Agoro, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Thank you, sir. You can be seated, sir. Thank you. I'm just going to stand on the existing protocol because we are live, and I want to take advantage of the time that we have live. So I'm just going to go straight to the lecture. As you have seen it, this lecture is born out of my passion to see how we can solve energy access problem within the nation. So, like had been said, a lot of research work has gone through this. I'm doing a bit of research in UK, in Deeeal University, and I'm doing another research here in Nigeria. And being an engineer for some time and with the experience that I've had on the field. So the lecture is actually divided into both the academics and into the theoretical part. I'm not going to focus too much on the academics. The slides are there for us to be able to see, but because of time, I'm just going to speak on what I believe that Nigeria should do at this point in time. Like you can see, the topic is talking about interconnection strategy for distributed generation in multi-community mini-grid with adaptive grid integration pathway in sub-Saharan Africa. So this lecture is speaking not only to Nigeria, it's speaking to the sub-Saharan Africa. We all know that access to power has been a real big problem and the major challenge in sub-Saharan Africa. Why does this happen? Traditionally, we believe that engineering has taught us that you will generate, you will transmit before you now distribute. But we found out that the cost of transmission infrastructure as of today, because most of the component of the transmission infrastructure is being imported to sub-Saharan Africa, and the cost of having a transmission line and other accessories to it is a major cost. And this has been affecting seriously access to energy in our rural area in sub-Saharan Africa. And we cannot be using, as people that live in sub-Saharan Africa as professionals, though our major concern for the government is that we should have access to energy. You can find that globally, as we speak today, over 170 million people lack electricity. And you can find out now that about 562 million of those people that lack access to electricity, they live in sub-Saharan Africa. Because of that, that is the need for the government has spent quite a lot of money on the Rural Education Agency, and both from the donor agency and from Nigerian government, and even that happened in other sub-Saharan Africa, a lot of mini-grid has been developed. But this lecture tends to speak to how we can interconnect this mini-grid, both at the wired side and on the wireless platform. Basically, this is just a comparison between the mini-grid and the microgrid. It's inside the lecture paper. I don't need to be talking about this. You can look at it in my lecture paper. So, like I explained before on the architecture of the grid, it's talked about generation. In a typical mini-grid, you have a storage, you generate, you convert it, you store it, and you distribute it. This is just a typical architecture of a mini-grid. This is a simple design, and when you are designing a mini-grid, which you all know, you need to know the load profile, you need to understand the demand of what people are, what you are designing for. You need to know how the productivity of that area, how does it generate on the before you do the design. This is a basic classification of the mini-grid, and these are the prospects of mini-grid, what you can use mini-grid to do. These are all inside. I'm not going to focus on this, like I said. And what are the challenges that we have on the mini-grid is talking about the low and seasonal demand. There's high cost of capital. There is technical gap. There is grid issue. There is a country's micro risk on the mini-grid. I'm going to focus a bit on this when we talk about the application of mini-grid. Typically, in Nigeria today, when you look at the essence of the mini-grid is for energy access. But what we have found out is that most government has spent quite a lot of money in development of the mini-grid in different parts of the rural area just to provide access to energy. But you find out that this mini-grid are not being fully utilized. Maybe because when these things are done, they may not have been properly sized. This lecture tends to see how we can, both at the wireless side and at the wire side, how can you interconnect two mini-grid to be able to allow for peer usage between a community and another. The first thing I want to focus on is on the application of mini-grid for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. What do I mean? When you look at EV today, the major challenge of EV is the charging. It's how you can charge the EV. you find out that in Nigeria today we have mini grid, like in some villages, you have 50 kilowatts, 100 kilowatts. They are using it primarily for access to power. But this mini grid, based on the present reality now, you can have a swapping batteries. They can have a battery swapping stations like this, so that the mini grid will serve as a point to charge those EV batteries. If I have in Ikorodu, for instance, today, if I have an 100 kilowatt mini grid in Ikorodu, it will provide power. After providing power, it will be a very good thing for the people that are deploying the mini grid on the wireless side of it to have a swapping center, so that the same mini grid will serve as a socio-economic development of that rural area. Because you can develop transportation system. When you use this same mini grid that you have deployed to have access to power, and you put a swapping center, the same battery that you are using to drive both maybe your tricycle, electric vehicle, and motorcycle, you can use that same battery for your normal inverter systems and be able to use that in the night. In a typical village that they don't have power, and you have the mini grid like this there, what it shows that you can look at this in this kind of in this picture that I depicted here. You can see a typical picture of a mini grid. You see that this same mini grid can, when you have a shopping center, people that you can use it for both the keke, the buses, you can use it for any stationary or mobile something. What am I saying? When I say interconnected mini grid, interconnection doesn't necessarily have to be by wired. You can interconnect both in the wireless form and in the wired form. And when you are doing it in the wireless form, the idea behind it is that when government is spending money on the mini grid, on installing a mini grid in a rural area, you can use that mini grid not only alone to provide access to power, you can use it to develop the social, economic of that area. So that when you have a mini grid in an area, you can have the introduction of the EV, you can bring about all these keke mawa and bicycle that use battery. But that mini grid will serve as a swapping center, that all of them will go there to charge their batteries. The same battery they are using for this keke mawa, they cannot use it in their house. And that's why we come in as an engineer. You know, when you look at the basic things they use in the mini grid that I explained earlier, is on the battery and on the inverter system. You know, it's so sad that in Nigeria today, that we are still, inverter is the same principle. So there is a need, though the minister mentioned it in his welcome address, there's a need for a deep collaboration between the academics and the people that practice in the field. What do I mean is that the only person that can solve Nigerian problem is Nigerians. And my guys are here. They've done so much in the area of engineering, and I have seen over years with my little knowledge of engineering, one of the basic problems that most people that design for Nigeria to solve energy access, their assumption is always based on what is happening abroad. They don't really have understanding of the typical problem that we are having in Nigeria. We are designing presently now, we are working on an IoT project for the distribution network in Nigeria. For us to even design a gateway, typically when you are designing for a gateway, you know that, oh, you just want to have a gateway but now in Nigeria, the gateway that we are designing now must have a battery. We cannot just use a typical gateway, because most of the distribution infrastructure in Nigeria today, they're having big problem on their battery bank. So the gateway we are designing now for the IoT project, we are having an inbuilt battery incorporated in that gateway. Apart from that, We are even using a machine-to-machine SIM because the existing SIM, like MTN, the typical SIM, cannot work effectively. So we are trying to use a machine-to-machine SIM to be able to have a proper design that can make the IoT system work. So talking about this, one of the things I want to speak to, especially for us as engineers, is that we now need to, as a company, as Prototype, we just brought about as SMT machine. We just finished installing this SMT machine about 2 weeks ago. And the major challenge we have, and that's why I was asking especially to speak to the people in the academics. The major challenge we have is that we are not, as a nation, we are talking that we don't have power. We don't have power. And when you look at and when most of the time when we are talking, we always talk about grid. And when we talked about grid, the only thing we speak to is the transmission grid. But nobody is putting emphasis on the distribution grid. And without a smart distribution grid, we cannot have power in this country. Because they can just develop a this thing now that is talking about net billing. How can you do a net billing without a smart distribution grid? The idea behind it is that when we should learn to, we have invested so much in distributed generation, especially in the area of solar power distributed generation. But we need engineers, we need professionals that can help the government to develop a very smart distribution grid. I want to challenge the members and the fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical Engineers, because that the whole nation is waiting for us. They are waiting for us to solve the power problem in Nigeria. And we are the only one that can solve it through collaboration and through innovation and through developing solutions that can make our grid, our distribution grid, to be stable and to be reliable. And we have the capacity to be able to do this, because we cannot talk about interconnectivity without a smart distribution grid. And all these things are very important, and which we must be able to, for us to be able to accomplish an energy, efficient energy access in Nigeria. Like you can see, well, I wanted to go into the wired one. When you look at this on the wired side, you can look at, this is a typical mini grid. When you look at a typical 2 PV in Nigeria today, when people talk about interconnectivity, the only thing they speak to is that they are connecting mini grid to existing grid. But this lecture tends to see that you can collect 2 mini grids together. When you look at this typical picture, especially if we do simulation, you can simulate. This is the first one is the first mini grid. The second one is the second mini grid. There is a program called an OpenDSS. And Python, through the OpenDSS program, you can simulate multiple mini grid. And there is a distance, the distance you are seeing is a distance, but if you have a mini grid input in a location A, maybe you have a mini grid in location A, you have a mini grid in location B, you have a mini grid in location C. And that's what I was saying, that it is important that this distance that you see, it is a smart, it has a very smart distribution grid. From location A, if you are generating 50 kilowatts, but location A does not have a good base, a battery system. Maybe location B, you are generating 100 kilowatts, and location B has a good battery system. If the distance between location A, the village to each other is about 5 kilometers, maybe there is no access, and the closest village that have access to energy is about maybe 15 kilometers. Instead of us to be bothering ourselves about having doing a transmission line infrastructure, which is very expensive, You know, the cost, when you look at what we hear in Nigeria, in sub-Saharan Africa, is that, oh, the cost of transmission is very expensive. The World Bank we are borrowing money to build transmission infrastructure. But if we can invest heavily and develop our expertise on how to make a distribution grid smart through just basic sensor, developing a gateway that can monitor the activities of the frequency and everything that happens within our distribution grid, you can actually interlink two mini grids together. By doing this, we can help to increase the energy access in Nigeria. As you know today, we say we have a capacity of, not about install capacity, maybe what we are willing out is about 5,000 or 6,000. But it's so surprising to know that if today, I speak that today, if in Nigeria, if 1 million, I know, let's even assume we have about 200,000 houses. If those 200,000 houses have 10 kilowatts installed on them, I want you to calculate what that will amount to. And if we are struggling that, oh, we are only generating 5,000 megawatts, but by the time we really adopt distributed generation, we really adopt both the mini grid. The only challenge why Nigeria does not have access to power today is engineering. And the engineering that I mean is that for us as professionals, government needs to give us that challenge to be able to see how we can develop system innovation that makes our distribution network to be smart. The second thing is that when you look at that, when we are simulating, it's even difficult to simulate most of these things that we are saying, because you will find that the standardization in Nigeria is very poor. As of today, if I want to buy a cable, I will go to Alaba, but I don't even know the characteristics of that cable. I don't know what that data, I don't have the data of that on that cable that I'm buying. Most of the transformers that are being sold in Nigeria today, we don't have the data on most of this equipment. So how do we simulate? So then when we're not talking about access to energy, it's not going to happen. You just find out that we are spending money unnecessarily on saying that we want to improve access to power, but we don't have data. It's so important that this time that we all come back to the table, and the government should need to work very closely to academics and professionals to be able to have standard. There must be standard in every little thing that we are using in electrical. It's only electrical that is so sad. In all of the engineering, it's only electrical that is not taken very, very seriously. You find out that many houses in Nigeria today, they cannot even boast of any single electrical drawing. The people will just say that, just install. Immediately the electrical guy comes now, he will just install. Nobody can say that this is the electrical drawing. Talk to us of the arting. I know when we are growing young, sometimes we talk about applique circuit breaker. You can hardly find any house in Nigeria today that has a proper arting. Talk less of you installing an applique circuit breaker in it. And now, the only we'll be complaining that we need access to energy. We don't need to invest so much. This lecture is to prove that we have everything to have access to power in Nigeria. With or without investment in transmission, what we have, if we manage our distributed resources that we have properly, we should have enough as power. The transmission should focus on the commercial. If it's just access to power, for people who have access to power, this, by properly interconnecting our mini grids and using the standalone system, we have more than enough power. As long as you have a good distributed grid, because when we talk about grid, many people just focus too much on the transmission grid And the major weak point in Nigeria today is the distribution grid. This is a typical solar system that was done. I want you to know that all these things was done from the scratch. When you look at the structure that you look here today, we fabricated this structure from the scratch, from ordinary galvanized pipe. It's not something we went to go and buy. We from farm work, we have young engineers that do the design. All these things are fabricated locally. You can fabricate, we design it, and we have a bending machines to be able to bend it to size, and we'll be able to do all this fabrication. This is a typical battery bank for one of the mini grid sites that we did. And this is a typical monitoring station for collecting data. Now, as of today, through what we call an MQQT and the gateway, we can collect data from any mini grid or any field device that we are using. Once you have a sensor and you can connect the sensor to it, it's so sad that most of our university today that you can hardly find, most university does not even have the right equipment to be able to train the student. What they are just training people is just is a theory, and there's no. So we really, as an institute, we really need to work closely to the university to be able to develop the structure and to be able to build a center for this where students can really learn on it. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do as Africa to be able to encourage adoption of interconnected mini-grid? We have to, like as has been said in by the grace of God, I happen to serve as the chairman of Nieee regulation panel. And what we have done on this national introduction of grid code, and even in the consumer user side, what we have done I don't know how many of us have looked at the existing Nieee, but what we really worked on in the past few months is on the user side. The existing Nieee does not really say so much on the user side as it concerns the electrical aspect of it, especially interconnect. How do you connect from the distribution pole to your house? So we've done a lot of work on that, and we have put a lot of IEC standard that makes sure that when you are building a new house, these are the certain things that you need to do, so that when you are using any new resources, then you can easily be connected. So we are trying to. So Africa really need to adopt. Africa must adopt sincerely distributed grid, and we should shift our focus. If we are talking about access to power today in Africa, let's shift our focus away from the traditional generation, transmission, distribution. We should put focus on distributed generation. And once you use distributed generation, the other limitation to it, that is where we have to develop. The whole world, this is the only place that we can develop innovation. And nobody is going to help us to develop it. We are the ones that are facing the problem. We are the ones that should use the engineering principle to be able to solve our problem. And we cannot put an old wine in a new wine skin. If we want to solve energy problem in Nigeria, in sub-Saharan Africa, professionals like us, academics, we must be able to sit down. How do we solve this problem? How do we make our system very stable? We cannot solve basic energy assets through generation, transmission, because it's very expensive. So it's so easy to deploy a solar home system. It's so easy to deploy a mini grid. But how do you interconnect it together? You have to think about the frequency. You have to think about the load profile. You have to think about. So this issue can only be solved through innovative idea. And that's where the NIEEE comes in. You need to be able to come up that, you must be able to have a system that we have a lot of generators in Nigeria today. Is it possible to bring all these generators to the distribution grid, to turn them to a virtual power plant? Is it, how this world, is it possible? It is. But the Chinese of this world, the Europeans of this world, they are not going to develop that solution for us. We are the ones that should research in this and be able to develop a solution that how can we create a virtual power plant, even with ordinary generator that is littering all over Nigeria, or we are using the solar mini grid that, or people that have excess power, just like the way NEC has just introduced this aspect of net billing. So my concern here is that we need, as a nation, to be able to spend more time on emerging technology, on artificial intelligence, on this blockchain technology, and on future technology. And we need to develop our engineers, and there's a need for collaboration between the institute and between the academics and within the professionals. And as a company, we are willing to be able to partner with NIEE. I was speaking to the president because it's a passion. This thing is a strong, passionate thing for me, and because on the issue of the energy access in Nigeria and on the issue of how the institute can work together with the Federal Ministry of Power to develop a policy on how we can solve the energy problem in this at the most cost-effective way as possible. So I think that's the basic thing I wanted to communicate in my lecture. Thank you.
TVC, can you please stop the recording? Thank you. Please, let's have our seat. Are we good, TVC? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so in line with the lecture that we as a company, Protogy Global Services is going to set up, because like I said, it's a big passion for me to see how the institute can develop young engineers and how they can see how to help to solve energy access problem in Nigeria based on what I've been saying. We are going to donate an endowment for this particular purpose of about, for a start, for a 10 million naira endowment to be able to use basically for innovation. Is for, I've told my president that the endowment is not for buying cars. It's for innovations. It's how we can develop innovation and technical innovation to be able to solve energy problem in Nigeria. And by the grace of God, we provide every support to make sure that happens. Thank you.
Let's give him a round of applause once again. Hey, you can't go now. I need to take picture with lecturer. Cameraman, please come and help. It's not easy now. Please take my picture with the guest speaker. Thank you. Okay. Opportunity lele. Yo matun rin ya picture. Hey, ya mi dada. Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause once again. Ladies and gentlemen, that was indeed an outstanding lecture. It was intellectual, stimulating, and on behalf of everyone gathered here, we want to say thank you so much, Engineer Isaac Ademola Goro, FNSC. We appreciate you sincerely. All right. So let me invite the president to decorate the guest speaker. The lecture may have ended, but the celebration has only just begun. One of the cherished traditions of Deeeal is the formal decoration of our distinguished lecturer, and this decoration symbolizes the highest intellectual recognition bestowed by our institute. So while we wait for Mr. President to come to this side of the podium to decorate our guest speaker, let me quickly recognize one of my brother. I think I saw him somewhere, Engineer Akintola Charles, FNSC, F Nimeki. Thank you so much for coming. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Honestly, I'm dazed. When I saw the lecture, I think you have the lecture booklets. Okay. I thought we were going to be here for the next 2 hours. I've attended lectures before, but I think I want to give kudos to our lecturer for today and honoree. Congratulations. He made everything, he summarized everything, and he has given us an assignment to go back home with our booklet and read them. Now, we've gone to where we're going to confer on him or to invite him to the Hall of Fame of NIEE. There are people here today who are seated. I think I have not less than 2 of them that are here. Past president and past Deeeal lecturer or awardee, Engineer Titi Omoetu. I would like to also invite you, sir, to come up here, sir. I will also invite another Deeeal awardee who is also here, past president of NIEE also, Engineer John Ayodele. Welcome, sir. To join me because I'm not going to do this assignment alone. And also for you to also welcome Engineer Goro into that class. Kábíyèsí o. Okay, sorry. I'm just being informed that the 12th, okay, please recognize him first.
All right. We also have in our midst the 12th Deeeal lecturer, Engineer Olis D. Kemenabo, FNSC, MIEE, CNG, Special Advisor to Bayelsa State Governor on Power. And please, can you come to this side of the podium?
I will specially welcome you because I've been planning to come and see you in Bayelsa. But thank God you are here today. Expect me shortly, sir. So, these are your seniors. They are to welcome you into that class. I told you you are entering into another level. God who has been with them will be with you. Kábíyèsí, sir. Kádé pẹ́ lórí, sir. Kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. Olùkèrè adábẹ́rẹ́. Mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ láti fi mi ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀. ẹ dìde sókè kábíyèsí ń bọ̀ lókè. Kábíyèsí o. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni? Okay. On behalf of, please, may we be seated. On behalf of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical Electronic Engineers, I, as the president, with the authority conferred on me, is hereby admitting Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNSC, FNI EEE, into the Hall of Fame of the distinguished electrical electronic engineers. Congratulations, sir. So, I will present the certificate first, and then all my ogas will do other decorations. Yeah. All right. So first of all, I will call on Engineer Olis to help me tag him. Where's the tag? You decorate him with that one first. That's number one. Number two, the senior most of our past president, you help me decorating with this. Oh, you're poor. Just fine. I hope the pictures have been taken properly. Thank you.
President NSC, Honorable Minister, sir, ABOC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we decorate this Deeeal laureate, Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro. Congratulations.
Then, our KBAC will help us present the plaque. You give him chieftain's title.
It's a great pleasure to be here, to witness you being honored, and to be the one to present you with this plaque. I'm proud of you as your KBAC, and I use you to speak to other indigenes of Erimo and other Nigerians to also emulate you. The country has great potentials, and I believe that we are on course to achieve those potentials. May God Almighty be with you.
Then, as a president, I want to give this certificate. This is to certify that the distinguished engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro has been awarded Distinguished Electrical Electronic Engineering Award Laureate today, this day, Wednesday, 22nd, 2026. Congratulations, sir. Our
It's a little bit of heaven Thank you very much. I was beginning to ask myself, what am I doing on the podium? Finally, I'm so delighted to be here, first and foremost, because Agoro worked with me for more than 7 years in Ibadan. So, and I'm happy that he's now a master of the game. So we can leave the podium and give him the mantle, which I'm asked to do. So from today, you're on your own. On behalf of NIEE, our president, our past president, Kabesi, and the father of the awardee, and I'm told your wife is here, and the first lady of NIEE, and all of us here. I present this scroll to you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Now, we will take this picture, then past president, including my IPP, don't be set aside, you are a past president. We also join here to take this picture. My wife will also join us.
NSC president, please join us too. NSC president, who is also vice president of WAFEO. Engineer Dr. Bola Mudashibu, fellow Nigeria Society of Engineers. Past president of NIEE. Hold on. Okay, we are coming to Saleh. Yes. Yes, sir.
Maybe, see when it starts.
National High School. National High School. National High School. Deputy President, Vice President. National High School. National High School member. Yes. Yes. Fellows of NIEE. Fellows of NIEE. All friends of Engineer Guru, either from Oluyole, from Ibadan, Discos, friends of Engineer Deeeal Guru. After fellows. Mr. President, we are waiting for you. Friends of Engineer Guru, we are waiting for you, please. Mr. President, Engineer Guru. Mr. President, friends of Engineer Guru. Okay, fellow first. Fellow of NIEE first. Fellow of NIEE first. Fellow of NIEE. Engineer Kintola. Special fellow, please move back. Engineer Kintola, special fellow, move back. Fellow of NIEE. Are you ready? I'm also a fellow of NIEE now. Right, thank you. Friends of Engineer Guru. Okay, sorry. Meter manufacturers. Meter manufacturers. Meter manufacturers. Meter manufacturers. Meter manufacturers. Meter manufacturers. Okay. Meter manufacturers. 1. Meter manufacturers. Engineer Guru, we are waiting for you, sir. Meter manufacturers. After Lee. All right, thank you. Friends of Engineer Guru. Friends of Engineer Guru. Friends of Engineer Guru. Where is Engineer Kintola? Friends of Engineer Guru. Friends of Engineer Guru. Thank you so much. We can go back to our seats now. Thanks so much. We can go back to our seats now. Thank you so much.
Please permit us to recognize DJ. Can you come down? Can you bring it down a bit? Please, can we be seated so that we can round up this program now? We want to recognize all friends of Engineer Agoro from Ibadan. All the friends from Ibadan, please, can you just stand for recognitions? All the friends from Ibadan, please, just stand up for recognition all. Yes, we appreciate you all. And also we recognize Engineer Odukoya Sheso, FNIEEE, representing the General Manager, Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency. Sir, you are highly recognized. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we continue with the program. Please, let's have our seats. Please, let's have our seats. Mr. President, we are waiting for you so that we can continue. Please, let's have our seats. We go to Goodwill now. One of the enduring strengths of any great institution is the goodwill it enjoys from its partner and stakeholders. Today's event has attracted distinguished lecturer leaders from governments and professional bodies. So we shall now receive goodwill message from our esteemed guests. And we'll start with the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Alimasuya Rabiu, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, who is ably represented by our own engineer, Dr. Bola Mudashiru. Please, let's give a round of applause for his goodwill message. Let's give a round of applause to the representative of NSC president for his goodwill message.
Good afternoon. Huh?
Hello, please, can we be seated, please, for the goodwill messages? Can we please be seated, please? Can we all please be seated, please? Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Once again, the protocol has been well laid by Engineer Dr. Felix Adegoye, the president of the institute. And with that, please allow me to ride on the well-established protocol. The minister, sir, Kabiesi, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President also, I am delighted to join you today at this wonderful 16th Deeal lecture and conference of the Deeal Award on my brother, Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNSC, organized by the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer. I sincerely appreciate the ESCO and the entire members of extending invitation to NSC for us to come and witness this event. I congratulate the Institute on the Deeal lecture as an intellectual platform that continues to stimulate meaningful discourse on engineering, technology, and national development, while recognizing individuals whose contributions have significantly advanced the engineering profession. I am confident that today's lecture have provided valuable insights, stimulate intellectual engagement, and generate practical recommendations that will contribute to strengthening engineering practice and supporting Nigeria's economic transformation. Today's conferment of this prestigious Deeal Award on Engineer Isaac Ademola Agoro, FNSC, is highly commendable. This honor celebrates a distinguished professional whose career has been characterized by excellence, integrity, and visionary leadership. commitment to the advancement of engineering practice also. Through his remarkable contributions to the engineering profession, mentorship of younger engineers, institution development, and dedicated service to our country, Engineer Goro has continued to exemplify the highest ideas of professionalism. Engineering remains the foundation upon which sustainable economic growth, industrial development, and national prosperity thrives. Nigeria's aspiration for economic diversification and technology self-reliance can only be realized through deliberate investments in engineering education, research, innovation, and local manufacturing, and also infrastructure development. May today's lecture inspire greater innovation, stronger professional collaboration, and renewed commitment to engineering excellence for the advancement of our dear nation. Thank you, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, FNSC, FANG MFR, the President of Nigeria Society of Engineers. So on behalf of the President, I say congratulations to the 16th Deeal Distinguished Engineer of our time, Engineer Ademola Adeguru. God bless you.
Please, a round of applause. A round of applause, please. Please, can we call on the President of CN for his own goodwill message? Please, a round of applause, please. A round of applause, please. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm standing on the existing protocols. Engineer Ademola Agoro, I want to congratulate you. And there's something, at times when we talk, we don't know the impact of what we have said. We have a discussion, I'm sure you cannot remember, but you provoke me about this solar. Yes, I'm saying it to his face now. I would have reported you to some people. So let me say it to your president. He's talking about this solar system. And since that day, it looks as if something was triggered in my spirit. And I decided that I'm going to go into solar system. In my house. Today, the president is my witness. I'm off-grid. Off-grid. Based on that thing that you told me that day. Since 2021, I'm a village man. Off-grid. 24/7. Thank you for the lecture. The lecture that you have here, I will take it home. And I will compare it with the submission that CN made to GAMCO committee. I'm sure it's going in that direction. You talk about pay more attention to this solar system. And there's a group of stakeholders coming into the power system now that is called the prosumer. The prosumer. As at the moment, the prosumer, they have the capacity about 25% of what we have already in Nigeria, meaning that they are growing up and they are growing up at high speed. So what are we talking about? Competency. We need competency to be able to manage these systems that you are talking about. This is technology we are talking about here. And that is why one of the things that CN is putting together very soon is what we call the CPCP, which is CN Professional Certification Program. It's going to be a long program. It has different models and it has in phases. And we'll be unfolding them, trying to begin to certify our people. Competence based. So we are still coming to you. And together we have with NIEE. And the technology, you talk about IoT and Internet of everything. Something is coming up by 2030. I was privileged to be there last month. We were together when I received a call that I have to go to that country. He was there. And what is coming up very soon is Internet of, I don't know the name they are going to call it, either Internet of Mind or Internet of Sense, meaning that when you are cooking egusi soup in your house, you know the odor of egusi soup. Somebody far away will be able to know the odor of that thing. It's coming up. So technology is moving fast, and we also need to brace up to be able to catch up with it. So I'm happy the president mentioned it. There's one title that our Deeeal lecturer have, and it's been suppressed over time. In that CN advert, in page 26 of that broker, you see there, I clearly wrote it there. And believe you sincerely, if I tell you what happened, open to that page 26. It was AI that did it for me and came out with that name for you. Hall of Fame of Electrical Engineers in Nigeria. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much, President Sien, for that goodwill message. Quickly, let me invite our royal father, His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Michael Odunayo Ajayi, Elerimo of Erimo Ijesha, Osun State. Kábíyèsí o.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I proudly stand here as the traditional ruler of the Awodi. And I must say that Engineer Guru is a worthy and outstanding ambassador of Erimo Kingdom, of Yoruba land, of you engineers and of Nigeria as a whole. I'd like to congratulate you and wish you more feathers to your heart. The biggest thing you will be scared of is if I announce a chieftaincy title for you right now. But there are many ways to kill a rat. So relax, it won't be today. But ultimately, your recognition cannot stop on the level of engineering. You have done very well. You've set up a school in Erimo, which is totally free of charge, fully computerized. And while we were still talking about that, you came back to me and you said you want to set up a secondary school. Now the secondary school is almost ready. It's also going to be free of charge and fully computerized. And all this big grammar that you have written about mini-grid is something that you have tested in Erimo because the school already has the solar set up. And I'm sure you know that that solar will not work unless there's a solar in the palace too. So keep note. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's give Kabiyesi a round of applause. Engineer Guru. Congratulations. And before I call on the next person, let me quickly recognize Director of Engineering, Pedi Naseni, a former National School of NSC, Engineer Mujirade Oloruntoba, FNSC. Thank you so much for coming. Let's give a round of applause. I can also see the National Chairman of Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineer, Engineer Tokunbo Ajanoku, FNSC. Thanks so much for coming. Quickly, let me recognize my guy, Binusa, retired PS Osun State Engineer Zubair Akiton Miwa. Thank you so much for coming. So we invite President Meter Manufacturing Association for his 1 minute goodwill message. Let's give a round of applause, sir. He's coming with meter. So the more you clap, the more you get meter free of charge. 1, okay, Engineer Guntunde, you get 1. The more you clap, the more you get meter free of charge. Okay, Engineer 2, so we have 2 free meters now.
Thank you. Kabiyesi, a very good morning to you. And the President, NIEEE, and all the distinguished guests. My name is Engineer Duroshola Omogbenigun, and we're here to recognize the brilliant strides of one of our members, a distinguished member, because he has also been an ex-president of the association. As you can see, why we're here, you've heard the strides he has made in Erimo and in other places. So we wish him all the best. We thank him very much for the productive time he spent with us as well. And I can assure you he has a passion for everything he has mentioned here, because he discusses them with me and with other members regularly. Solar, inverters, IoT, and in fact, he's been trying to get us to adopt IoT meters and so on. Well, congratulations, Engineer Guru, and we wish you all the best, and extend that also to everybody here, that more wins, more success, and meter manufacturers are here also to deepen industry in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. At least I have one free meter now. Thank you so much, sir. Engineer Guru is a man, you see him with many caps. He's the son of, he's from Irimonjesha. He has his own constituency too in Ibadan. So let me quickly recognize his constituency from Ibadan. We have NIGP Ibadan people here, Engineer Gabriel. Let's give him a round of applause. We have NSC Oluyole, Engineer Peter Oyelami. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming. Quickly before we round up, let me invite the last person. HOD Electrical Electronics Engineering Unilag, Engineer Professor Rishi Peter, for his 30 seconds. You know, Professor, they used to stick with time. 30 seconds, good message.
It's not even going to be up to that basis. You got your letter. Now, I want to appreciate the president of the NIEE for this glorious occasion, and our past leaders and daddies in the institute. We want to appreciate you for the way you have been carrying us along in all you are doing, especially Engineer Titi Ometu, who has always been with us at the University of Lagos. I want to seriously appreciate the new president of the national president of NIEE for getting in touch with us. Almost immediately became the new president. He contacted me and he put me on the spot that he would want to do a number of things with our Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, alongside with Engineer Badamosi and the Lagos chapter. We have been, last week we had our student week, and the Lagos chapter was well represented. National President, we appreciate you for this, and this just buttressed what the guest lecturer just said. That's Engineer Guru, about his interest in the younger generation. And I want to invite you to Unilag as well. Your lecture has been very wonderful. It's very thought-provoking. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me also invite Engineer Guru to my old school, Lautech 2. Yeah, we will be expecting you. Let me also invite one of our senior past presidents, Engineer Titi Ometu, for 1 minute goodwill message. Engineer Titi Ometu of NIEE. You represent all past presidents, so you speak on all past presidents of NIEE, so that you not give my other way.
Mr. President, sir, Madam, distinguished laureate, Engineer Isaac Demola Agoro, Honorable Minister, sir, KBAC, NSC President, my same okay, and a fellow past presidents, ladies and gentlemen. I would really want to congratulate NIEE for what it has set for itself. And yes, the NIEE has made all of us proud. There is no doubt that we are on the right course. And this opportunity the immediate past president. We wish Engineer Deeeal Aguru more of all the innovation ideas that I have been told he has been championing. Congratulations, NIEE. Congratulations, all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Tito Metsu. Yes, Mr. President, Engineer Felix, I like to call his name Adeshola Adegoye, FNIEE, the President and Chairman in Council.
I'm sure you were there when you were christening me. Well, I just want to make this open commitment. Engineer, the awardee of today had promised certain amount for the endowment. And he said it should not be used for car or for vehicle. And I'm promising openly today. Give us the check. I will promise you, I'm promising you that it will not be used for vehicle. We'll buy a vehicle without that money. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Talk and Do President. We appreciate you. All right, so we go to we also have in our midst Chairman FEG Agro Farms, Osun State, Otumba Dr. Gabriel Emiola Okusoya. Can you stand up for recognition? Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Before we go to vote of thanks, Engineer Felix Olu, please get ready for vote of thanks. Before that, let me quickly invite one of past Deeeal lecturers to speak on behalf of past Deeeal lecturers, Engineer Olis Kevin Nabo, FNSC, Special Advisor to Bayelsa State Government. You have 30 seconds, sir, to speak on behalf of the past Deeeal lecturers, sir. Thank you, sir. Then we call
honestly, if not for KBC, I would have asked the MC to add additional 200 seconds to my 30 seconds. We'll spend some time here. First, let me congratulate and welcome Engineer Aguru, FNSC, FNIEE to our club. Welcome, sir. Secondly, I want to state this, and I regret not by saying this, as engineers, and particularly in the electrical engineering family, we have not enthusiastically encouraged ourselves enough. I got into this hall and thought it was a birthday party organized by somebody somewhere in one corner. I thought this hall wouldn't have accommodated us. Please, let us be enthusiastic with our profession. Our profession is the profession that drives everything, including how we walk on the road. The unfortunate aspect of it is that very recently there was, and sorry, please, not to undermine other professions. When the Nigerian Bar Association held their elections, I saw the enthusiasm. We are supposed to be creative, economically, technically, and then industrially for other people to legislate or provide laws for our profession. Unfortunately, and really truly unfortunately, we have not lived up to our bidding. That is why anytime we organize anything, we find ourselves scanty, and miserably scanty, not just scanty. On that note, I want to once again congratulate my 16th Deeeal lecturer and welcome to the distinguished Hall of Fame of Nigerian Software Engineers and Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. God bless you, sir.
Please a round of applause once again. We really want to appreciate everyone that has been here. But the best person to actually show this appreciation is the 16 Deeal Central Planning Committee Chairman. Permit me to please call on Engineer Felix O. Olu, the immediate past president of the Institute, for his vote of thanks. Thank you very much. So while he's coming forward, I want to recognize Engineer Olajide Afiz, FNI Triple FNSC, who is representing Engineer Adekunle Olayinka, FNI Triple FNSC, SA Works Governor of Lagos State. SA Works. Where is he? Okay, sir, you are recognized. Also, recognizing now Engineer Ajanaku Tokumbo, FNSC, who is the General Manager, Public Works Corporation, Lagos State, and also the National Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers. Sir, you are highly recognized. So let's appreciate, please, the chairman for this organizing committee. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Engineer Olabode. First of all, let me give all the glory to the Almighty God, because when Mr. President announced that he wants me to be chairman of the Deeeal Planning Committee, it was a Herculean task. So we want to thank all our invited guests, starting from the Honorable Minister, who is ably represented. We appreciate all our past Deeal lecturers who had taken the trouble to be here today. We know how easy it is to travel in Nigeria today. We want to appreciate all our past presidents, all our invited commissioners representing areas where we are relevant: energy, renewable energy, power, infrastructure, and the rest of them. We are very grateful for your coming. And then all the people that have lifted the hand of the awardee of today to make sure that he is able to do what he is doing. I want to appreciate all of you on behalf of our planning committee. And then every other person who I might not be able to mention all your names, our fellows, the National ESCO, chapter chairman, and the rest of every friends and supporters. Our prayer is that God that has brought you here today will take you back safely to your various destinations. And we want to say, when we call you again, please do count it necessary and be committed enough to answer us again. We thank you so much. The elders in Yoruba land have a saying that it is the person that is eating garden egg that can tell you the sound better. That is the best way I can put it. The elders know what I'm talking about. So I would like to invite forward our 16th distinguished electrical electronic engineer of today, Engineer Ademola Isaac Agoro, because he has a special way he wants to thank everybody today. So please, can we invite forward Engineer Ademola Agoro? Okay. Because he has a particular appreciation that he needs to do today. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome him to the... Please, let's give him one more time. It's not easy. Just 16 in 40 years. It's not easy.
Okay, thank you. Before I say my, I want to thank God for everything, but I want to invite some people. I'll start with my MD. I don't know where is my MD. No, I have an MD. Engineer Kola Padira, please come. I call him my MD. He's my Oga. I want to invite every meter manufacturer, MD of meter manufacturing that are here, please. Please, let's want you to come. Engineer Janaku, I want you here to. You know the person. He knows the one that he knows himself. Engineer Kotu. Engineer Olami. Engineer Lekasa. Chief Bonnie, come and support us. Please permit me to, when I was at the point in my career, I was in UK for a while, and this is my MD. My MD, though we are classmates in school, but he's my MD. When I talked about the PACN project, he was the one that gave me the opportunity to be able to work on the SCADA project. And I always think I know, but when I see Oga, he knows if there's any problem he cannot solve. I always say that I don't know who can solve this problem. He's a very intelligent man, and though we are classmates, but I respect him as my MD. And I wanted to, the reason why I called all of you out is just to thank the NIEEE with me. I'm not taking this thing very lightly. And for me, I'm a professional to the core. I'm first an electrical engineer before any other thing. And anything that we can do to improve electrical engineering from whatever God has given unto me, I will do it by God's grace. And I always tell Mr. President, I don't want an electrical engineering of an association of social. I want engineering that can develop the professionalism of engineering. Because one of the parties I just mentioned, it sat in my heart when we see engineers, we are not where we are supposed to be. And electrical engineers should be at the forefront. There are so many opportunities in Nigeria today. Electrical engineer can be multi-billionaire, but we are only looking. It's so sad that when you see major contracts that being taken in electrical engineering, you will be so shocked that the owners of those companies are not electrical engineers. And they are taking big contract because most of us are sleeping. And we need to help the young one. We need that. Okay, I want the HOD of, because you are going to be pivotal to what I want to do. You have to come, sir. Because I want you all, please, I need your help to be able to help not the institute alone. Where is I need you, sir. Because you need to work. This is not about association. It's about the professional development of electrical engineering. So anything that the 10 million naira that I promised, I've already paid it to the NIEEE account. But I need all of you here, please, to help me support my institute, to be able to, and to help me support my institute, to be able to help development of electrical engineering in Nigeria. And this, like I was saying, this money is, though is institute is custodian, but CN will be a very big partaker. It should be for professional development. And that we can, at the end of 1 year, we should be able to see what has this thing done. It's not about how have we used this to improve. I am my senior talking about internet of minds, and the truth of the whole issue is that engineering is very progressive. You'll be so, for me now, I'm still learning Python. In fact, my daughter was asking, Daddy, what are you doing with Python? Because you cannot improve in engineering if you don't continue to learn. So please, as many that I need your help, to please help me. But I will start from my MD. And anybody that wants to, if they can bring paper, some of them might not want to. I know some people that are
So just like you have just been whispered to me, it shows the collaboration between us and the younger one. So we're going to build on this legacy and we'll continue on that note. Please shall we rise as we take the closing prayers? While we take the closing prayer, please, the buffet out there, the table here in the front are being led by Mr. President and the Deeeal ROD also will lead the team first. Every other person stays. So when they are back to the room, then others can go. So only the front seat here will go first. Then after them, then others will follow. Thank you. Shall we rise as we take the closing prayers? So we're going to take the national pledge. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful. Hello, please, sir. Can you please follow what I am saying, please? The national pledge as the closing prayer, please. Please, the national pledge as the closing prayer, please. So shall we go one to go? I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity, and uphold her honor and glory, so help me God. Thank you and God bless you. So please, let's take the front seat for their buffet while every other person sits. That's what I'm saying. The I table goes first. The I table led by Mr. President, sir. Led by Mr. President. Every other person, let's be seated, please. Thank you.
The past presidents too can follow, please. The past presidents.